Oh, it's just 10 o'clock p.m. What a perfect time to start this podcast. Hey, everybody, what's up? And welcome back to Unhinged with Chris Klemens. I'm Chris Klemens. That's so crazy, isn't it? Now, thank you for tuning back in. If you're a returning listener and if you're new, thanks for joining. You can subscribe to Unhinged with Chris Klemens wherever you get your podcasts. But today I am recording this episode very late this week. Everybody give Justin, my editor, a round of applause because he is really doing the Lord's work. Now, I was just in LA on the Stupid Summer Tour on Sunday, and I had a show and it went really well. And then I took a red eye right after the show. I was in LA for like 10 hours because Booger's getting surgery tomorrow, and it's a whole thing. I'll talk about it if I want. Maybe I'll talk about it on the after show, actually, which you can listen to or watch on patreon.com/Chris Klemens. But I flew to LA on Sunday morning, did my show at 5, and then my flight was at 11:30, and I landed in New York at 8 a.m. and then drove back down to Delaware last night. So I'm just kind of tired, and this week is the final show in San Francisco. If you're in San Francisco, pull up. There's still some tickets. They'll be in the description of this episode. They're on my link tree. But I'm very excited. The tour has just been really, really fun. Definitely new for me, but I've just been having so much fun doing it. And yeah, we'll be in San Francisco. But because I'm just sort of tired and there's a lot going on this week, I'm going to be doing a voicemail episode. I know I said that I was going to be doing like airing out family dirty laundry, but I will be doing that. I would say next episode, and I think it will be next episode, but I don't want to say that because I've said that for 2 episodes now. Anyways, I've got a little drinkity drink that isn't alcohol, if you're catching my gist. And yeah, I'm going to be going through some voicemails. The voicemails have really racked up on this Unhinged phone number at 667-577-0807. And I figured it would be fun. I haven't really like filtered through any of them. I just am sort of gonna do it raw dog the house down. Also, this is like the first episode I think I've done in a minute where the dogs are in the studio. I just couldn't put them. I just got home from a dinner and I didn't want to put them back in their crates or like leave them upstairs alone because honestly, I don't know what they would do. So they're here. So cute. But yeah, let's get into the voicemails. Okay, there's a cute 23-second one, and that is like very much my speed.
Hi, Chris. Don't really know why I'm leaving this. But yeah, my wife just cheated on me with her ex of 10 years. She's been cheating on me for 2 of those years. So yeah. And I'm at PetSmart, so.
Oh my God, right off the bat. If you couldn't hear that, they said, Chris, I don't really know why I'm leaving this, but yeah, my wife just cheated on me with her ex. They've been together for 10 years and has cheated on her for the last 2. And also, yeah, I'm in a PetSmart. That is why this podcast is called Unhinged with Chris Klemens. That is unhinged from literally start to finish. Oh my God. Dude, I don't understand cheating. Okay. And like, maybe I'm naive, but like, if you're gonna fucking cheat, just break up. And if you're thinking, well, we're married and I don't want to do that to a marriage, you're doing it to a marriage. Am I missing something? Am I wrong? For wanting more, I don't know why I always go into that monologue of Nicki Minaj about pickle juice, but I am so sorry that you have a bum ass wife who you have been loyal to, and just fucking with the ex too. Like, cheating is bad enough when it's going back to someone from their past. That's like putting the knife in the heart, and then it's like the twist. That is so fucked. That is a really rough start to this episode. Okay, we're going to do another voicemail because that one, that was a big fucking bummer.
Hi, Chris. I've been listening to your podcast for a little while, and it's my story I want to tell is not related to the current podcast I'm listening to. I haven't like aligned live. I don't know how that works, but I just wanted to call in because maybe I'll get a call back or maybe you'll use the story about a situation that was really, really, really embarrassing. But I can tell the details if I get a call back. But basically, I was working as a stripper at a club,
Period.
And my boyfriend at the time lived out of state, and I was driving and texting. I shouldn't have been. And I was also working as a nanny. And so you're probably getting the idea of what happened. I got off work was taking a bunch of pictures, getting ready to go to the club on the weekend after my nanny job. And my nanny mom was up high in my text messages, and I was trying to text my boyfriend at the time a picture of me in my outfit, and I ended up texting my nanny mom my lingerie outfit before I went to the club.
No.
You'll have to call me back so I can tell you guys how I got out of the situation and what happened. Thanks.
Oh my God. I love that you said, so you're probably getting an idea of what happened. I was like, yeah, you got into an accident from texting and driving? Oh my God. No, I didn't see you sexting your boss. Sorry, call me old fashioned. What? Girl, what? What? That is like code red worst fucking nightmare. Like horrible. I honestly kind of love not knowing how you got out of this situation. Like, what do we think happened? Do you think she was like, oh, sorry, that was for my boyfriend? I feel like, okay, if that was someone watching my kid and I got a lingerie sexy pic from them and they said it was for their partner, you know what? I would be like, okay, rock on, baby. Okay, let's hit another voicemail.
Hey, Chris. My name's Quincy. Long-time viewer and
Quincy.
fan. Love the show. Love the YouTube. Just love it all. Love, love, love.
Love is love.
I had attempted to call probably a week ago, but then I was nervous and I hung up and I was like, all right, shit, well, probably call back. Anyways, I would love to be able to share a crazy ass story about the time that I found out that my dad died, and
what?
The next day I found out that the boyfriend whom I had been living with and got a dog with had flown in a girl from Peruvia and was housing her at his family's
Do you mean
house,
Peru?
and basically living this double life and having another girlfriend. And also at the same time, he had another girl from another country sending him care packages in the mail to his dad's house. All right. Love you, Chris. Hope you have a absolutely lovely day. So proud of you for having a billboard in Times Square. That made me...
Oh my God. This is an emotional roller coaster.
For you.
Thank you, Quincy. Oh my God. First of all, yeah, the New York Times billboard, if you haven't seen my vlog about that, it's like the one where it's like, is this considered a mental breakdown? Wait, so let me get this straight, Miss Quincy. You found out your dad died, and the next day your boyfriend flew in a girl from, quote, Peruvia. I think it's just Peru. Oh my God, unless Peruvia is a real place, then I'm just going to look stupid. Which is fine, honestly. I've made a whole career of it. So he flew in a girl from Peruvia who was staying at his house, and then he had another girl. I mean, what? Are you dating Pitbull? I mean, he's fucking Mr. Worldwide. Literally, he is fucking worldwide. Dude, the amount of times that I say this, and people must think I'm joking, but I'm not. Why don't y'all have a podcast? That's by far crazier than anything I could have ever written up. I don't even know what to respond to that. Also, how do you find all of these women internationally? What in the 90 Day Fiancé is going on there? I can barely find someone who lives in the same state that wants to fuck me. I mean, what? You're telling me your boyfriend, who I hope is not your boyfriend anymore, let's just make that abundantly clear, he's finding literally the Miss Universe pageant. Oh my God, maybe that's where he's getting them. No, there's no way that kind of loser could pull those kind of women. Anyways, let's hit another voicemail.
Hi, Chris, and hi, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. My name's Kat.
Hi, Kat.
The reason why I'm calling, is it just me? It's hard to compliment myself.
Oh.
Whatsoever. I can't compliment myself. Like, I struggled with, like, body image since I was a child. So complimenting myself now is weird, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm actually really satisfied with how I look, but complimenting it is kind of really hard. Is it just me?
Okay, I think that this is such a real thing that so many people feel. It's definitely not just you, Kat. I definitely think you're probably somewhere in my age range where we all grew up, like, where everybody, you were told that, like, being thin is beautiful and all of that bullshit. So, I could really pop off on this. So one thing that like kind of shifted the way I think is, and like, hear me out, I promise this like ties in, but when it came to me, people would say that I'm really funny. Like back in the day, people would be like, oh, you're so funny. Like during the first couple of years of my YouTube channel, they'd be like, Chris, you're so funny. And I would be like, no, I'm not. Ugh, no, I'm not. You're just saying that. Like, no, I would reject any sort of compliment. I would never, ever give myself any sort of compliment. Like I would never. My whole brand at the time, and just by brand, I mean personality, was so self-deprecating. It's so even more than it is now. And I know people might be like, Chris, it hasn't changed. So I could never take a compliment. And I realized that, like, Chris, if you want to be an entertainer and you want to be a comedian, if people are telling you that you're funny, why are you trying to convince them that you're not? You're going to get nowhere with that. And so I realized that if there are adjectives or attributes or qualities or things like that I want to be known as having, and people compliment me on those specific things and say, like, I want to be a good person and a caring person and an empathetic person. And if someone's like, Chris, you're so empathetic, I have learned to say thank you. And even if you don't believe it, saying thank you, that means so much. That's all you have to say, and then you can keep moving on. But those little acceptances of these positive qualities slowly start to build self-esteem and confidence in those factors. So when people started saying, Chris, you're so funny, I started saying, thank you so much. That means a lot, because that is something I want to be known for, is being funny. And it's like, I know it's not the same, but like complimenting yourself, you should be able to know what you want to be seen as or how you want to be seen. And I think it's hard, definitely, especially with the whole body image thing. I think the whole like eating disorder vocabulary and verbiage is so fucking back, and it's horrifying to me. I don't want to go on fucking TikTok. And do you have cortisol face? No, I don't, because that's not a real fucking thing. Do you have wrinkles and this and that and this? Do you feel old? Are you ugly? Are you fat? It's like, shut the fuck up. All of these people are just trying to make 3 cents off of a TikTok shop purchase and are making you feel bad just to get a fucking nickel. Oh my God, it drives me insane. If you want to do things for your health, go for it. If you're doing it because you're treating your body as a trend, I don't want any fucking part of it. Okay? That's my mini fucking rant that no one asked for, but I will die on this hill. It is so ridiculous the way that bodies have become such a trend. It's your fucking body. It's the vessel that's carrying you through life. I have a little bit of extra fat on me. Guess what? I hate working out. I love food. If this is what I look like and my body is able to get me up out of bed every day, show up to work, show up for the people I care about, then fuck yeah. Like, who cares if I'm not a perfect size? If that is what you need out of a person, is for them to be visually appealing, that's sad. Because so someone's really hot. I have a friend named Tina who talks about this, and she goes, okay, so someone's really hot and that's all they have going for them. So are you just going to sit there and look at them for the rest of life? It's so ridiculous. I have so much more to me than the fucking muscles that are visible to the human eye. Like, fuck out of here. Anyways, no one asked for that rant, but God, it just, the way that this like body culture is coming back so strongly really just pisses me off. But in terms of giving yourself a compliment, tied in with body image struggles. I so get that. But at the end of the day, you almost have to lie to yourself. And I know that sounds fucked up, but you have to trick your brain into basically thinking that these things are true if you don't feel them. So like, in a big part of accepting the fact that I have a gut and love handles is that I look in the mirror and I go, I have the negative thoughts of like, oh, you're fat and you're da, da, and then I go, why is that bad? Why is that bad? Are you enjoying your life? Do you eat food that you love? And do you not work out because you don't enjoy it? Yeah, then great. I mean, I do like work out like sometimes just because I want to feel healthy, but you have to like lie and just convince yourself that it's not the case. And also you have to remember that like none of this shit matters. Like what you look like doesn't fucking matter. No one's going to be like, oh, they died and she was the prettiest girl. If that's what people are remembering you by, that fucking blows. Like that fucking blows. Even Bella Hadid, people will remember her for other shit besides how fucking stunning she is. You know? Like no one's gonna be like, oh, they had a thigh gap while they were alive. Like that's insane. So I really do think complimenting yourself is just sort of a little bit of lying to yourself, but it's like positive lying, you know? Like, I don't know. It's hard, but just do it. Once you do the first big action, the rest of them don't feel as intimidating or daunting. And that's something that I like wholeheartedly believe in is like, just take the first step and like give yourself a pat on the back and then take another step. Shit's hard. I mean, I say this all the time and I definitely can recognize how good I have it, but life is fucking hard. It's hard to be a human. It really is. And again, I'm saying that from a place of just immense privilege, and it's still fucking hard. It is never lost on me thinking back to when I had like multiple jobs and shit of just like, how did I do it then? And life is fucking hard. Be patient with yourself. Go easy on yourself. Don't make it harder than it already is, you know? Now, before we carry on, I'd like to say that this podcast is brought to you by EHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Let's be honest. Has anyone else ever pretended to be into something that they're not actually into while dating, just so you could try to connect with the other person? Oh my God, I was just on a date recently and the person asked if I had seen a certain movie and I said yes, knowing full well I hadn't. And then we proceeded to talk about it for 10 minutes and I just sat there going, yeah, I loved, oh my God, that part. And then the gag is that never actually even led to anything for me. I feel like the best dates I've ever had were the ones where I didn't feel like I had to be someone other than myself, if you know what I mean. Like it just flowed naturally and I felt like the other person was just picking up what I was putting down and vice versa. That is eHarmony's whole shtick, helping you find someone you can be yourself with. That's what true connection and compatibility are all about. Being seen, being heard, and feeling understood. That's why more people are turning to eHarmony, because eHarmony's compatibility quiz brings out your personality and helps you meet people who will like you for you. They want people to like you for the right reasons, and what's not to love about that? I'd love for you to give eHarmony a shot. Get started with their compatibility quiz for free so you can find someone you can be yourself with. eHarmony. Get who gets you. Now, before we carry on, I'd like to thank a sponsor of today's episode, which is Hero Bread. Now, with the weather becoming bearable again, aka not a heat wave for the 9th week in a row, I've loved having meals in the park in New York City with friends. Now, one of my favorite things to bring to the park in terms of food are sandwiches. I think they are such like a park staple. And obviously, for a sandwich, the bread is key. Now, Hero Bread reinvented the bread and buns that make summer great. Fluffy, delicious flavor and texture with no net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and fewer calories, plus protein and fiber, which is my favorite part because if I can get a little bit more protein or fiber in different foods without compromising flavor or texture, I think that's the best part, and Hero Bread is that girl. Now, the bread I use for the sandwiches to bring to the park is Hero Bread, and I realized that I've never thought to be like, oh, for homies, like, this is a different kind of bread because the texture is exactly the same as normal bread. My friends literally did not even notice. And like I said, my favorite part is just all the extra protein and fiber that you get with Hero bread. To be able to get more out of your food that you'd be eating anyway, I think is genius, and that's why I love Hero bread. Now, Hero bread has something for every craving, including sliced bread loaves, buns, and tortillas, as well as mouth-watering limited edition bakes like the popular 2-gram net carb Hero croissant. My mom literally cannot stop talking about the new Hawaiian rolls. I have gotten her hooked, and she's a monster now. She's obsessed. My mom literally steals packs of Hawaiian rolls from my house. Now, if you want to get more out of your bread without compromising flavor, Hero Bread is giving our listeners 10% off your order at hero.co and use code unhinged at checkout. That's code unhinged at hero.co. Thank you so much for sponsoring, and let's get back to today's episode. Okay, we're going to do another voicemail. Like I said, this episode is going to be a little shorter today. Thank you for your patience. Also, I do want to film an after show for Patreon, so I'm taking that into account. So we'll probably do 1 or 2 more voicemails. And I just want to give you the heads up. I feel bad that I'm like cutting it short today, but the fact that we're getting an episode up at all this week is really a miracle. Again, everyone give Justin some claps, and let's get into another voicemail.
Hi. Okay, I just called, but I am listening to your new podcast with your guest.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't remember his name. I'm Bates, as I said in my last
Eric.
message.
Yeah.
But you guys are talking about Christianity and Catholicism, or however the fuck you say it, and how, like, growing up in it, and you saw Jesus on the cross and was like, daddy. But, like, okay, same. But, so there was this guy in my elementary school, and it was like, my elementary school was JK to grade 8.
Okay.
So he was a grade 8, and every year the grade 8s would put on the Stations of the Cross, where, like, Jesus had to carry the cross to where he was, like, crucified on it. And we were obviously a Catholic school.
Oh, okay. That was my next question.
Even as a grade 8, all the teachers knew this guy was sexy as fuck. He ended up going on to become an Abercrombie and Fitch model, or whatever the Fitch, however you fucking say it.
Oh my God, that's hot.
Anyways, he was in grade 8. I was in grade 6. My sister was in grade 7. And this boy walks through the church without a shirt on in grade 8. And I'm not kidding. Every single girl in that church from grade 3 to grade 8 was like, like, I'm not kidding. That is, but my sister and I still talk about it. And I'm about to be 26 years old. And we still talk about this boy walking throughout our church without a shirt on when he was in grade 8. So, like, 13 years old. But I still think about it. It was one of the best days of my life, and I thought you guys would get a kick out of that because, well, I mean, obviously your guest isn't still there, but you'll get a kick out of the fact that my Stations of the Cross memory, the only thing I remember about, or the reason I remember Jesus dying on the cross is because my childhood crush walked throughout our church without a shirt on, and we got to see his abs. And let me tell you, he's still got great abs.
Oh.
But, okay, I love you. Bye.
Oh my God, not the sexualization of Jesus Christ on a mass scale. That's so funny. No, okay, the way seeing abs in like middle school was like crazy. There was this one guy who went to my middle school. He was older than me. I'm not going to say a grade because I feel like that's traceable. But everybody had a crush on him, and he was hot. And I remember there was this one time I saw his abs, and I was like, oh my God, I can't even imagine if it was during a school play and he was like, Jesus. Honestly, I probably would still be Catholic, maybe. No, that's crazy. But wait, that's kind of also iconic that he went on to be like an Abercrombie model. I'm assuming that was like in his adulthood. Do we remember those bags? Are they still doing them? Oh my God, the way that I used to look at those bags and like fantasize and then take action on my fantasies. The bags just would have like pretty much naked men and women on it. Usually men, I think. And it was, I can't believe that was just like allowed, especially back in like the early 2000s. Like that's when we were all like everyone was still a fucking prude. Like that was, people had a sex tape and that was like, oh, now it's like, oh my God, everybody has an OnlyFans. Anyways, I don't know how we went from Jesus to OnlyFans, but I mean, no, I do. It's Unhinged with Chris Klemens. That makes so much sense. Oh my God. I also don't know why you had to bring up the fact that we were sexualizing Jesus on a cross. Okay. That I was so happy forgetting that I did. But I did in fact do it. Wow. I love awkward middle school stories. Wow, that might have to be a prompt in the future. Okay, we are going to do one more voicemail unless it's a big downer, and then in that case, we'll do a second one so we don't end on such a bad note. And then if that one's also a bummer, then we're just going to end on a bad note. Okay, we're going to do one more voicemail. I now have a co-host, Worm, who is sitting on my lap because she has ADHD.
Hey, Chris. I'm a big fan. I'm just looking for some unsolicited advice about a friendship that I have.
Uh-oh.
This friend, she just is very presumptuous is the number one keyword there.
Okay.
She just invites herself over a lot, uses my dishes, makes a mess in a clean kitchen, and then leaves.
What?
She will invite Tinder dates to our hangout where I thought it was just us, and then introduce me to this person that she has also never met.
What?
And then gets wasted and makes me drive her home because the Tinder date got dropped off by their mom. So just things like that keep happening.
Guys, we might be ending
this
on
is a friend that's made her way into a larger friend group that I'm a part of, and so I need to be cordial, but how do I stop, hanging out with her or let her know that I don't really want to be close friends with her? She's just kind of a mess, and I'm trying to grow up and be an adult now that I'm 30.
Yeah, 30.
So any advice would be super appreciated. Love you. Bye.
This is a super interesting voicemail because I feel like this sums up being 30 or like sort of just growing up and maybe outgrowing friends. So I think that that's absolutely insane that your friend just invites themselves over, makes dishes, and then doesn't at least make an effort to clean up. I think that is a huge fucking red flag. I mean, obviously you do too because you're calling in about it. The Tinder dates on Hangouts, I think that's where you can like sort of open the door with this and just be like, hey, I don't want to hang out with your Tinder dates that you're also meeting for the first time. Also, why do all of your Tinder dates have their moms dropping them off? Is that not weird? I know that you mentioned it as if it was weird, but like, are we all thinking it's weird? I really, like when you said I'm trying to grow up and be an adult now that I'm 30, I really understand that feeling of sort of like, I think we all sort of want to be young and like have a youthful mindset. But that being said, it's like, okay, we're 30. Like, come on, step it up. And I'm not saying that therefore you have to be like a fucking nun. But yeah, it's like there's real life, there's real shit. And we're all like a lot more tired. Listen, I have never felt so tired until I turned 30. I am exhausted. But I think, and I don't know if this is like realistic or if this is just idealistic, but I think if this is how you feel and there's no way of stopping, I think there's a few ways you can go. I think there's small things that you can do on a local level where when she comes over, be like, hey, I was kind of wanting to be alone. Like, you have to start letting me know when you're like going to come over. Like, you have to start asking to come over. Like, I just enjoy my private space and don't feel prepared to socialize, like, I think that's a way. I think also like, hey, when I'm hanging out with you, I don't want to hang out with your new Tinder date. Like, I think that's something you guys should do one-on-one for the first couple of dates. Like, I think there's small ways to sort of correct her actions here that don't feel really aggressive. But I think on a deeper level, it's good to sit down. I think you should be able to sit down and talk to any of your friends. And if you can't, that's a sign right there that you guys aren't as close as you might think you are. But I think you just sit her down and say, hey, listen, like, I have just been feeling completely steamrolled. I don't feel like I'm respected at all. And you're someone who's supposed to be a close friend of mine. And I just feel like you don't respect me, or you don't like X, Y, and Z, you know, fill in the blank. But I think you should be able to sit down and talk to her. I mean, also, if you were a close friend, like, I think you at least owe that to sort of be like, although, no, I think sometimes it's okay to just fucking walk away. I don't know. I think you should just talk to her and be like, listen, I think I need some space. This just is feeling like a lot, and I sometimes feel like I'm having to babysit you, and I hate having to tell you that. But I also, in this friendship, am allowed to say how I feel. I think that's the best way to go about it. Honesty always is the best, because when you lie about like foundational feelings in a like relationship, whether it be a partner, a friend, etc., you then have to like build the rest of your shit off of that lie. And then it just gets real fucking hard. And then you have a lot of resentment. So I say just have a fucking honest talk, or just straight up dip cold turkey. But it doesn't sound like that's an option. So I think you should just sit down and talk and just be like, and just tell her where, because she might honestly not have any idea. And I mean, like, I'm not saying that therefore she gets a pass, because that level of lack of self-awareness is like mind-blowing to me. But I definitely think just talk and tell me everything you said, and like tell her everything you said, or him. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's a girl. But yeah, I would just do that. That is my thing. And also, you're entitled to feel that way. And if she doesn't respect that, then that's proof right there that the friendship kind of shouldn't carry on. Wow, I do feel like we ended on sort of a bummer of a note, but like also like inspirational ? I don't know, but thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Unhinged with Chris Klemens. I know, again, it was short. Not all of them are always this short. They're usually around an hour long if you're new. So if you are new, be sure to subscribe to Unhinged with Chris Klemens wherever you get your podcasts. We put video episodes up on youtube.com/@unhinged. You can see the beautiful set that I sit at every time. Now, I am going to be recording a little bit of an after show on patreon.com/Chris Klemens, so get into it. The link is down below. And as always, please rate and review, as that helps the podcast out a ton. Be sure to give it 5 stars and write something nice after each episode, you know? A little goes a long way, let me tell you. And if you're going to comment something hateful, just at least give it 5 stars still, you know? That's the kind and respectful thing to do. San Francisco, I'm coming to you this weekend, so if you want tickets, be sure to head down below. I don't want you to miss out on the final stop of the Stupid Summer Tour, and I love you guys. Thank you so much. And again, big shout out to Justin, who is turning this shit out for us. Oh, love you, Justy. All right, bye, guys.